everybody. My name is Sarah, and I am a writer. And I just recently wrote a new story that I haven't written anything for a while. It's kind of morbid, but not really. I mean, just give it a chance. It's called Put the Fun in Funeral. It was raining hard, and I was on my way to a wake when a tire suddenly blew out, leaving me with a flat tire. I pulled over and banged on the wheel with my fists out of frustration and fear as I freaked out easily. I thought morbidly that perhaps I would die from shock. My heart would just stop one day. I got myself all worked up all the time. I was pretty sure I had a spare in the trunk and I only vaguely knew how to change a tire. I definitely was not a pro. I popped the trunk and began to open the car door. At least the rain had significantly lightened to an eerie drizzle. I opened the car door halfway and saw a ghastly-looking older man. He appeared suddenly out of nowhere. His face was shadowed, and he began to speak in a clear and polite voice, sprinkled with genuine concern. "Hello, I see your vehicle is in dire straits. I usually don't stop for people on the side of the road, but I can sense that you are on your way to a wake. So I thought I would lend a hand, as I have experienced a similar scenario. I stood, my mouth agape, and my eyes felt as they would pop out of their sockets. He somehow knew I was going to a wake. What kind of madness was this? The question blew my mind. "How can you tell, sir?" The man gave a sad grin that seemed to appear vulnerable. He just nodded his head while he turned away and walked towards my trunk. He lifted the tire with surprising ease. He appeared to be in his 70s. I just watched with fearful and grateful awe as he changed my tire with supernatural speed. When he was done, he turned to me and said, "Godspeed," which I definitely did need since I was giving the eulogy at this wake. It was for a close co-worker and friend of mine of 10 years, as she had died in a freak car accident. And I couldn't be late. It was for my... And she had no... Wait, this is a rough draft. She had no family outside or friends outside of work, so that's why she was giving the eulogy. Okay, that's the point. She had a father who she hadn't seen or spoken to in 10 years. She was excited because she recently had contacted him and they planned for a reunion soon. She said that she planned on meeting him at an old-fashioned restaurant by the name of Dusty's Diner. It was a pity she never got to experience such a precious moment. Shivers traveled down my spine at the speed of light. He then gave me a salute-type gesture with his hand. He gave the same sad-filled grin and walked away. "Thank you, sir," I shouted as he seemed to disappear into the foggy drizzle as quickly as he had appeared. I was perplexed and my mind was boggled as I drove safely towards the funeral home, pondering it all. How could he have possibly known? Was he tracking me for some unknown reason? I arrived at the funeral home 10 minutes early so I could speak with the director. I took note of my coworker's name on the plaque outside of the room that held her casket, and with a wave of morbid grief, her name was Rihanna Burns, which was a morbid irony, seeing that her car had literally went up in flames upon impact. I saw that another wake was taking place as well. I walked slowly and out of curiosity to observe the name on the plaque outside of the room that held the casket. It read, William Burns. I saw the funeral director standing near the coffin. I approached quietly and timidly, and when I saw the corpse, I almost passed out. It was the elderly gentleman who had helped change my tire. What's going on here? I managed to choke out. My heartbeat quickened. I had a bad feeling that proved to be true. The director relayed the information with the most sad eyes I had ever seen, and his face was so forlorn as he began in a trembling voice. This man is Rihanna's father. He continued to speak in a monotone. They were finally going to reunite at a family restaurant they frequented in youth. Anyways, they were coming from opposite directions, and the father experienced a sudden stroke and lost control of his vehicle, in which swerved onto an oncoming traffic in the opposite lane. He hit a woman head on, and they both died instantly. And with tears in his eyes, he spoke softly. With all my years as a funeral director, I have never experienced a case like this. His eyes bore to mine as if pleading for an explanation regarding this freak collision, this freak accident. The woman he hit was his daughter, Rihanna, on Old Destiny Road. I was so shocked that I saw white and I passed out. When I came to, it was in a different room, was a different casket, and there were two people in the room. One quick glance at the coffin was all I needed to recognize it was my corpse lying there. Peacefully, the two individuals who greeted me were Rihanna and William. They explained to me that my heart had stopped due to the shocking revelation I had just heard. I felt an eerie calm as William said, "Now, let's go celebrate at Dusty's Diner and put the fun in funeral." I chuckled as I breezed towards them. His dark humor was certainly appreciated and appropriate, as it had made light out of the darkest day of my life. It was the end. Or is it? Okay, well, thank you for... I'm reading in the dark. I really couldn't see. I'm an idiot. But I appreciate you listening, if you did. And maybe some feedback. I don't know. I just like to write really short stories that make a quick impact. And I call it like a roller coaster story. You know, that's really quick. Anyways, have a good day.